Okay.
And I'm waiting for Shannon to give me the word.
I have not seen, we are live from 25 Women for 2020. We are ready to talk to two of our formal candidates.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
I'm happy to be here today with two of our outstanding candidates from we're working with here at 25 Women for 2020. Aimee Rivera Cole is from Fishers. She's running for House District 37 in 2020. Theresa Bruno is here from
Hi.
Warren Park. She is running for Senate District 28. Yep. And so I want to give you both a minute to introduce yourselves, and then we'll ask some questions. Okay, Aimee, can you go first?
Sure. Like Deb said, I'm Aimee Rivera Cole. I'm running for House District 37, which is most of Fishers and a little corner of Noblesville. And as a lawyer who's practiced for about 20 years, I get to see firsthand on a daily basis how our laws impact Hoosiers in our state. But what really inspired me to run was just watching our public schools being a failure. My son is in college to be a teacher, and I don't want him to have to move away to earn a decent living. And it's not just education. Indiana actually ranks at the bottom of almost every metric in measuring quality of life. We need new leadership, I think, that can respect all Hoosiers, regardless of race or gender, religion, sexual identity or orientation, because I believe that at the end of the day, all Hoosiers want the same things, and that's for their families to be happy, healthy, safe, and nearby.
Great. Theresa, I know that you sit also on your town council in Warren Park. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yes. Hi. Again, I'm Theresa Bruno, and I'm running for State Senate District 28. And I'm a mom. I'm an educator. I teach part-time at a local community college, and I'm also a brain aneurysm survivor. And I also sit on Warren Park's town council. Warren Park is it's an included town in Marion County, and I've been on the council since 2015, and I think that's kind of what started this whole thing of me, running for higher office, between the town council and being just active in my community and active on the east side of Indianapolis. I have noticed that we are being ignored at the state level, and I'm tired of it. I am tired of it. Our roads are crumbling, our teachers are underpaid, our kids are over-tested, and there are portions on the east side of Indianapolis that are in dire need of economic development. And I am running because I'm going to be the champion, your champion. And that is why I'm running.
Thanks to both of you ladies for boldly stepping forward to take this on. Aimee, or excuse me, we'll go to Theresa with this first question. What concerns are you seeing in your district as we look forward to spending another week in social distancing during this crisis?
Okay, so my district is very diverse. It incorporates a portion of the east side starting at Irvington, north of Washington Street, and it encompasses all of Hancock and a little bit of Shelby counties. So there's a very diverse, like we have working class folks here on the east side of Indianapolis. They work in the gig economy or they work in a restaurant and they've been laid off. I also have plenty of small business owners, and they're wondering, like, how can I keep my employees on? And they're also they're just concerned that if they're going to survive or not. And they're also, concerned about, is their unemployment insurance rates going to go up as well? So there's just a lot of, and also too, a lot of people are concerned, especially, here on the east side. We've worked so hard to get a lot of, businesses in here, especially like restaurants and stuff. Are they going to survive? And so there is just a bunch of concerns. I have been phone banking and talking to a lot of people. And also people are very concerned about the elderly population, and also people who have immune deficiencies. But yeah, so I've just been like helping people over the phone. a lot of people are overwhelmed with the whole, applying for unemployment. There seems to be a lot of, misinformation out there, and just trying to help people navigate that and everything. And I'm just talking to business owners and just asking them, how can I help? So
Thank you, Theresa, for that compassion that you're showing for your district. It's obvious that you really know what's going on there. Aimee, tell us about your district. Is it different than Theresa's, or is it comparable?
No, I'm first, I just want to acknowledge that like these are really scary and times for everybody. And I know everybody feels Teresa's district or my district, I think worldwide, scared for their family's health and scared for their financial well-being. Just last week, the front page of the Fisher's paper was pandemic without a paycheck. My husband works for Lucas Oil. There's not going to be a lot of events going on there in the near future. So, I know we're feeling that scare right now about how are we going to be financially. And I think that if the governor is going to order us to stay home, which he should, don't get me wrong, he should, we need to be prepared as a state to pay whatever it costs to make sure people can follow that and still and not have it ruin their lives. And it's concerning that Indiana, being one of the most unhealthy states in the country, I'm fearful that we're going to get hit really hard because, as we know, it hits people with underlying conditions more severely. And there's so many people like that in Indiana, whether it be because they can't afford health care, they have had to prioritize medicine versus mortgages. We need to invest in this is why we need to invest in the health of our community, because times like I'm just so afraid that we're going to get hit really hard because of that. But I also just want to take this time to acknowledge, like, if you do feel scared, that's okay. Make sure that you are prioritizing your mental health right now.
Thank you,
It's an
Aimee.
awful- Yep.
The phrase
It's an
comes to
awful-
me now more than ever. We need women like you making policy. And to you, Deb?
Great. Yeah, thanks. It is such a difficult time. And, I have to say now more than ever, we need to be working hard to put good leadership in place. This is the kind of crisis that tests our communities, and it tests our state leadership as well. And so we're really hoping to get you guys into a position where you can take charge and really manage crises like this and regular everyday policy to make Indiana better. I want to ask you now about education. I've asked all of our candidates this, and I'm going to ask you as well. 95% of the counties in Indiana report teacher shortages. And so I want to know what you think we can do to improve that, and what you think that does to the quality of education in Indiana. Aimee, we'll start with you.
To improve teacher shortages, pay them more. I mean, it's pretty simple. We need to invest in our educators. We need to treat them like the professionals that they are. HSE, now my school district might not feel some of the teacher shortages that to the extent other districts are, but we do have them, and we're losing teachers not just to other districts, but to other professions or other states because we're not investing in our teachers. We rank 51st consistently in teacher pay raise, and that's not acceptable, especially when we tout that we have a $2 billion surplus. So pay them more and treat them like the professionals they are, and allow them to teach to inspire and not just to teach to an ever-changing test that's costing our state billions of dollars.
Great. Theresa?
yeah, you're just going on with what Aimee said. She made some very good points, and she's awesome. So yeah, pay teachers more. We are what, 51st in teacher pay? That is unacceptable. I have a neighbor who has a daughter who wants to become a teacher, but all of her teachers that she looked up to, throughout high school said, don't do it. It's not only a pay issue, but it's also the state micromanages teachers. They don't treat them like they are the professionals that they are. And so that needs to stop. And we are testing way too much, way too much. We need to not test our kids as much as we are doing. And that is one thing that, I've noticed when I've registered voters and, I've talked to voters on the phone. They're like, yeah, my kids are just stressed out by like I-steps and all this high stake testing. And it needs to end. So that seems to be like a really big cheering point, that I get. They're like, yeah, go and everything. So yeah. So just to sum up, pay them more, pay them like, pay them what they're worth, which is a lot. Don't micromanage them, and high stakes testing.
That makes sense to me, Theresa. We'll shift to a different question and we'll stay with you, Theresa, and then we'll go to Aimee. Let's talk the middle class. It's near and dear to my heart. I was lucky to grow up in a middle class family. My dad, when he came home from the Korean War on the GI Bill, he went and got his college degree, and he did a little bit better than his parents before him. That's the American way. That's what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's not happening anymore. I identify 3 things that are partially the reason of that. And like my dad, that college was affordable. He paid off his student loans and went on to have a good career. I look at people I know that are no longer in unions, or their unions are weakened by the right to work laws that we have in Indiana. I look at pension plans. I grew up in an era where pension plans, most people had them. That's not happening as much anymore. Employers are shifting that burden, that risk to their employees by having them invest in 401ks, which, as we know, what's going on today, those are far less stable than a pension. Mm-hmm. So Theresa, when you become a legislator, how do you think you can overcome these challenges that we have in Indiana with our middle class dwindling?
All right. Well, thank you. So yeah, I was lucky enough to grow up in a middle class home. My grandpa, he used the GI Bill after he came home from World War II, and he studied engineering, and he was able to build a house on the north side of Youngstown, Ohio. That was considered like a nice, really nice area then. So yeah. So I'm a huge Star Wars fan, so I'm going to use a Star Wars analogy. So there needs to be balance, okay? Right now, employers have more power than workers, okay? So we need to bring balance back to the force, okay? So we need strong unions to bring back the balance, because when there are healthy unions, when employees and employers are equal on equal footing, employees are going to get better pay. They're going to be treated better. Yeah, they're going to get better health care. Okay. Wages have been stagnant in this country for decades, and that needs to end. People are struggling. I am very big on unions. Again, my family's from Northeast Ohio, Youngstown area, and that's a big union area. My great grandfather, he worked on the railroad and participated in strikes. So yes, I'm a huge union person. Unions are what helped create the middle class, and they're what's going to help bring it back. Education. I teach part-time at a local community college, and it is way too expensive. When my dad went to Youngstown State, he was able to pay his way through school with a part-time job. So we need to invest more in higher education. I also believe that, we have really downplayed, trades like plumbing and electricians and everything in the last, 20 and 30 years. And now there's, in a few years, there's going to be a real shortage of plumbers and electricians. So we need to, encourage people to also to be in trades. So yeah, we need to start funding our education, bring back unions, and we need to figure out healthcare as well. I am a brain aneurysm survivor. It ruptured. I should be dead or severely disabled, and thank God I'm alive. But we still had to pay huge hospital bill, and we have good insurance. And I am a member of several groups on Facebook. They're brain aneurysm survivors, and a lot of those people were like the primary breadwinners, and they had a brain aneurysm and they lost their insurance coverage because they couldn't go back to work. So we need to separate uh, health insurance from employment, and we also need to have be more affordable. Thank you.
Thank you, Theresa. And thank you for lifting up the trades. It's very important. Aimee, tell us your thoughts on this. What's your perspective?
You guys both make really, really good points, particularly about the unions. My husband is a proud member of IATSE Local 30, and the right to work bills have really kind of crippled their ability to fight for to fight to earn a living wage. What we also need to do is, if we want to attract talent, attract jobs in this area, good paying jobs, we need to get rid of these discriminatory laws. We need to make sure that women are paid the same as men for the same work. If you were being told, well, I'm going to relocate possibly to Indiana, even if you're a man, you don't want to come if your wife isn't going to earn as much as she could be earning in another state, because women are paid 70 cents on the dollar to what men earn for the same exact work. And we just need to get rid of the bills. Like, we need an inclusive hate crime bill. And I think if we would focus on our motto of Hoosier hospitality, we would do a better job of obtaining and retaining high-paying jobs in this area, because we're not going to attract that if we have these outdated laws in the area, if that makes any sense to you. So
it sure does. It makes a lot of sense to me.
It does.
Yeah. So, and it is, I mean, you made great points, Theresa, about the education is super important. Unions are super important, but just making sure that we really practice what we preach with our Hoosier hospitality motto. That's the way we can attract and retain good jobs in this area.
I think it would be great if we could get back to that Hoosier hospitality model. That's something to be proud of. Thanks, Aimee.
Great. So I want to ask a question about the 2020 legislative session now. There were several bills that were introduced that got nowhere, that particularly had to do with improving access to health care. And I want to, hear what you have to say about that. And also want to give you an opportunity to talk about bills that passed that you thought were just a bad decision. And any other legislative initiatives that you thought should have gotten more attention or got too much attention in the 2020 session. So Aimee, let's start with you.
Well, some bills that didn't pass that I guess I would like to have seen passed are a lot related to healthcare, like the free EpiPens, making the cost. There was a bipartisan bill that would have made the cost of prescription drugs a lot cheaper that was voted down. The teacher pay issue, which keeps coming up, and we just keep playing kick the can. It was disappointing to see. It was disappointing to see that there was no gun safety legislation introduced, that we did not revisit making the hate crimes bill actually inclusive and have any meaning. And I guess one of the bills that was disappointing was that we still aren't holding the charter schools to the same transparency requirements as the public schools, despite the fact that we just had millions of dollars stolen from the state. And we just decide, it's unfathomable to me why we just were like, we'll just look the other way. It's crazy. So I guess those are the ones that really stick out to me this time.
Great. Theresa?
Aimee made some very good points, about, charter schools and a lot of, the medical bills as well that didn't pass. I actually went to the State House one day. It was in regards to pregnancy protections for, workers. And I believe this was a bill that was supported by the Chamber of Commerce. It was similar to legislation passed in Kentucky. And yet it still did not pass. And it was like just saying like basic, like, because, I've had kids, I've had 2 kids, and when you're pregnant, you need bathroom breaks, you know? And, I've worked in factories, to put myself through school. And, a couple times, in those factories, there were pregnant women and they were like, no, we don't have time for you to, you know, go to the bathroom like 2 more times during the day because, oh my gosh, that would be horrible. These were like simple, like common sense that really, sometimes it really makes me mad that we even have to legislate stuff like this. It's just like they're pregnant. Let them go to the bathroom, And, also like, let's say, you're pregnant. You shouldn't be lifting incredibly heavy stuff. Have them do something else, you know? Yeah, again, common sense stuff that we really shouldn't have to legislate, but we apparently we have to because there's some mean people out there. And so I would just like to add that on top of what Aimee put out there as well.
Great. And, to your point, I think many of those initiatives would really have some impact on our outrageous level of infant mortality and maternal mortality in Indiana. So, all right, I'm going to send it. Is it back to you, Shannon, right?
Yep. Thanks, Deb. We've talked about a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of concerns. There's a lot we need to do, and we're glad that you women will be in there being our advocate all through Indiana. But I think right now we need a breath of fresh air. We need some positivity. So Theresa, back to you. What is going well in your community and in your district? Highlight some of that.
Wow. From Irvington to New Palestine to McCordsville, Fortville, Greenfield, I'm in, their community groups, and I've just seen the community come together, trading items, just, supporting local businesses by either buying a gift certificate or ordering carry out from restaurants, just people supporting each other saying, oh, hey, there's toilet paper at this Meijer, or there's such and such at Target or Kroger. And people, I have so many friends that are going out and they're grocery shopping for their older relatives and those who are immunocompromised. It's just, the human spirit is just amazing. And I just love my district.
That's really good to hear. Aimee, I know we talked earlier, and there's a lot weighing on your heart and mind as well. Highlight what's going on in your district that you are so proud of.
Well, one thing that I'm really proud of is we have a wonderful, hardworking school board, and they just recently approved a inclusive non-discrimination policy that included gender identity protections. And at first, it was voted down, and it was amazing to see the community just come together so quickly and rally in support of this inclusive discrimination protection bill or policy, sorry. And just to watch our leaders like listen. And it actually, so initially they voted against it, and then they changed their minds. And it was really cool to see the community come together and it work how it's supposed to. The people spoke and the leadership listened, and it was really inspiring.
That is really refreshing to hear. Thank you, Aimee. Deb, did you have any more before we sign off?
So I think, yeah, we're gonna wrap it up now, but I want each of you to take a minute and talk about your campaigns. What do you need? How can everybody help you? Where can they get in touch with you? Go ahead, Aimee.
Well, I am always looking for volunteers. If you guys want, obviously we can't go knock on doors right now. It's not safe. But if you are writing postcards or making phone calls or donating, you could always use that too. You can go to my website, which is, you can see my name up there on the screen. It's aimeerivera.com, and it's all one word. And yeah, there's all the opportunities are on there, and I would love just to have as many people as I could.
Great. Theresa?
Hi, excuse me. So I am a door knocking machine, but we can't knock doors right now, but I will need door knockers in the future. I also need phone bankers. We're phone banking twice a week. It's virtual. It's done from the comfort of your own home. So get some tea, put on your jammies. I'll send you a link. I'll walk you through the process, and we're going to call our friends and talk about the issues and offer them help if they need it. You can get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook, Theresa Bruno for Indiana. My website is Bruno4Indiana.com. And I think I also speak for Aimee too as well. If we're going against well-funded Republicans. So if I understand this is a rough time, but if there's any chance you can donate $5, $10 to our campaigns, that would be wonderful. And
A little bit counts.
It would make a huge difference.
Thanks to both of you. And just to be clear, since we have this all-state strategy, whether you're up next to the Lake Michigan border or you're down by the Ohio River or for East or West, you can support these women. The goal is to get these 24 formidable women as our 20 for 20 change makers to be your advocates in Indiana. So please inbox them, message them. They will put you to work. Doesn't matter if you live in their district or not. You can do this as a statewide project. And as a statewide project, please check out 25 Women for 2020 at our website, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and consider an investment in our movement as well. And we'll make sure this goes to helping these women get to be your advocate in Indiana. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great.
Yep,
Yeah,
thanks.
thanks everyone. Thanks everyone for joining us. And again, like Shannon said, you can find out about us at 25womenfor2020.org. And you can find out more about these candidates on our website as well. And there are links on our website to go find out more about the candidates. We've got these great, terrific, strong Democratic women in Indiana who are going to flip these districts and make Indiana a better place for all of us. So help us get these women elected. All right, with that, I think we're ready to sign off. Anyone else have any parting comments, or are we just ending? Everybody's good. All right. So and tune in next time. We'll have more of these interviews. We've got more candidates to talk to, and then we'll have Aimee and Theresa back again too. All right, keep in touch.
Be well.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.